Since the enactment of the Federal Information Technology Acquisition Reform Act in 2014, this subcommittee has maintained steady and bipartisan oversight of the agency implementation of the law. FITARA was enacted to establish a long-term framework through which federal IT investments could be tracked, assessed, and managed to significantly reduce wasteful spending and improve project outcomes. FITARA is a report card that holds agencies accountable and exhorts them to improve their IT postures, and in practice, it's a tool for Congress and the public to ensure better cybersecurity, reduce wasteful spending, and make government service to the nation more effective. The coronavirus pandemic has proven that IT is integral, not incidental, to the mission. As we have seen both at the federal and state local level of government, if the IT does not work, the mission does not work. Today's hearing will discuss the results of Scorecard 11.0, which was released in December. This hearing will also focus on how Congress and the administration can work together to improve services to the nation with a focus on improving IT across the government. Today's hearing also comes weeks after Congress was able to secure $1 billion in the Technology Modernization Fund so that agencies have more opportunities to improve IT and enhance cybersecurity. We look forward to engaging with the Office of Management and Budget about the importance of IT modernization and this funding opportunity at the next FITARA hearing in July. Last summer marked the, the 10th FITARA oversight hearing in the last 5 years, and the first time that all 24 agencies participating in the FITARA scorecard received passing grades. Since the FITARA 10.0 scorecard, 3 agency grades increased, 5 decreased, and 16 remained unchanged. Further, despite the removal and addition of metrics, all 24 agencies maintained passing grades for the second time in 11 scorecards. FITARA 11.0 marks a few firsts in the 5-year history of the scorecard. The scorecard marks the first time, for example, in FITARA's history that all 24 agencies included in the law received at least 1 A in a single metric. And that metric was the software licensing metric. The first time that metric will also be retired because everybody gets an A. When the subcommittee added this metric to the scorecard back in June of 2017, only 2 agencies had such inventories. Agencies needed to better manage their software licenses to make cost-effective decisions and to achieve savings. As a result of continued oversight using the FITARA scorecard, all 24 agencies are now using comprehensive, regularly updated inventories of the software licenses, enabling those agencies to identify duplicative licenses and software costs. The GAO, the Government Accountability Office, estimates that agencies have saved or avoided more than $1.4 billion in software licensing costs from fiscal year 2015 through fiscal year 2020, because they are now using comprehensive, regularly updated inventories. These types of small but significant adjustments over the vast enterprise of government can rack up significant savings pretty quickly. FITARA 11.0 also marks the addition of a new metric which evaluates agencies' efforts to transition off the General Services Administration expiring telecommunication contracts before they expired in May 2023. The new measure incentivizes agencies to progress toward telecom services that deliver critical services at lower costs to taxpayers. Since the scorecard's inception in 2015, agencies have made substantial positive strides in improving their information technology practices. Among the FITARA scorecard categories with the greatest impact on taxpayer savings, of course, is the IT portfolio review process known as Portfolio Stat. Portfolio stat went from helping federal agencies save $3.4 billion in fiscal year 2015 to $22.8 billion at the beginning of fiscal year 2021. Let me repeat that. We got savings of $3.4 billion back in 2015. 6 years later, the savings are at $22.8 billion. Federal agencies are closing and consolidating more data centers, which also results in significant cost savings. The 24 graded agencies have reported more than $5 billion in cost savings in that category from fiscal years 2015 to 2020. While the FITARA scorecard has successfully helped agencies move the needle in improving IT practices, work still remains. According to GAO, 21 of the 24 graded agencies still not have established policies that fully address the role of their CIO as required by federal law and FITARA guidance. Improving the management of IT acquisitions and operations remains on GAO's high-risk list, citing the need for OMB and federal agencies to implement all of the statutory provisions of FITARA. Further, in the most recent high-risk list, GAO reported that significant attention was needed to improve the federal government's management of IT acquisitions and operations and to ensure the nation's cybersecurity. The coronavirus pandemic has highlighted that chief information officers are more essential now than ever before. Nearly every federal program, service, and function relies on IT in order to work. It's among the duties of the CIO to plan for agency IT needs, including the resources required to accomplish the mission. Outdated legacy systems, software and hardware, however, continually prevent agencies from providing the services the American public expects and demands and deserves. To determine the scope and feasibility of IT modernization, CIOs must be more involved in agency performance planning. That's why today I introduced the Performance Enhancement Reform Act with my ranking member, Mr. Heiss. This important piece of legislation requires agencies' performance goals to meet the demands of the ever-changing performance management landscape and includes data, evidence, and IT in the performance plan. The bill would also require agencies to publish their technology modernization estimates, system upgrades, staff technology skills and expertise, and other resources and strategies needed and required to meet these performance goals. The subcommittee will continue to evolve the scorecard in ways that facilitate tracking improvement over time, while adding new metrics as necessary to raise the bar on what is needed across the federal enterprise. I look forward to today's important conversation so that we continue to provide accurate oversight and to exhort federal agencies to come into the 21st century with their IT.